let's look at New Zealand's burgeoning space industry. Not a phrase that I would have thought I'd use terribly long ago. Well, the leaders of it say the successful launch of a rocket over the weekend is a giant leap forward for the sector. Rocket Lab successfully launched a rocket into orbit for the first time on Sunday, deploying 3 miniature satellites shortly after taking off from the Mahia Peninsula, not far from Gisborne, where we were with Jono before. This makes New Zealand the smallest country by population ever to launch a rocket into space. Logan Church spoke to the people at the forefront of what is a space industry about what this means for New Zealand.
5, 4, 3,
ignition.
The successful takeoff of an Electron rocket by Kiwi company Rocket Lab on Sunday has launched New Zealand into a new kind of space race. Its chief executive, Peter Beck, says the challenge is now to commercialise the smaller rocket, which carries smaller satellites.
We're ahead of the pack by a number of years, and obviously the first to get there. But also, what we offer with respect to technology and product is quite significantly advanced to what others are currently working on.
Mr. Beck says his company is now working to increase the frequency of the launches to once every 2 weeks in 2019. Increasing the number of launches and decreasing the satellite size will dramatically reduce the cost of putting a satellite into space. Mr. Beck says it could cost less than $10 million each. He says this will establish New Zealand as a leader in space business.
Milk powder is great, but nobody stands back and goes, that's incredible. Historically, you go to space to demonstrate to the world that you're a superpower. And if you look at the countries that have gone to space, they are all superpowers.
New Zealand companies and organisations are keeping a close eye on developments in the space sector. One of those is the government-funded Centre for Space Science Technology in Alexandra, who use imagery from satellites to collect data on everything from climate change to tourism. Its chief executive, Steve Cotter, says it's now much more feasible for smaller organisations, such as his, to put up a satellite.
If we identify a gap in the data or a business opportunity, we'd certainly jump on that. 5-10 years ago, these satellites that were built were tens, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars, and it took 10 years to build. Now you're able to throw these little CubeSats together with basically off-the-shelf components.
The government space agency closely monitors launches, working with the Federal Aviation Administration in the United States and the United Nations. Its head, Peter Crabtree, says all rocket launches have to be signed off by the authorities, as well as any satellites that leaves New Zealand soil. He says he expects New Zealand's space industry to grow rapidly.
We're in a part of the planet that doesn't face congestion in the air or on the seas. It's favourable in terms of getting the launch angles. But then you overlay it, New Zealand's a great place to do business. It's a low-cost business environment, but it's got high-quality regulations, it's a stable environment in terms of international investment. And so it ticks loads of boxes, which knocks out a lot of other jurisdictions.
Murray Mackay, the founder of space advocacy group Kiwi Space, says a growing space industry provides another benefit: employment.
It's exciting to have launch capability in New Zealand. That now showcases some career options for New Zealand graduates. There's more opportunities at the universities now for people to get involved with developing satellites, technology payloads.
Mr. Mackay says the industry is a whole new frontier for New Zealand, where the sky is the limit. For Checkpoint, call Logan Church Tanay.